Preparing your family. Preparing for the great waves of change requires many things. It is important, if you have a family and are married, that you begin to prepare for them as well. Your spouse or your partner must become educated and supportive of your efforts. If your spouse or partner is reluctant or uncertain, then you must still make the necessary preparations. You must become a leader here. You must assume responsibility. Your young children do not need to know what is coming, but they should know at least that nature has been harmed by human misuse and by human greed. Your older children should really become educated about the great waves. Let them read. Direct them to resources that can help to educate them. Have meaningful and objective conversations with them. If they are reluctant or do not want to know, you must still lead your family. If there is severe disagreement between you and your spouse or partner regarding the change that must be made, then you must still be the leader. You must take whatever actions are necessary to protect your family and your children, with or without your spouse's participation. If you have elderly parents, depending upon their circumstances and condition, you may not be able to educate them, but you will have to plan for how they can be cared for, given whatever resources are available. This can be a very difficult matter, and you may need to seek professional advice. You must practice great tolerance with your family, for they will all experience over time the strains of adjustment. It will be difficult for everyone. You must always have an adequate supply of food for your family, as much as you can store, for there will be times when food will become difficult to get or to purchase, and it will most certainly become ever more expensive. In your family, pleasure should be simple, and you must focus on your economy, saving as much of your financial resources for the future as you possibly can, following the recommendations that are included in this book, and beginning to learn the way of knowledge, so that the power of guidance that God has placed within you may be known to you and available to you. Do not think that your financial position or your financial status will be preserved into the future in the face of the great waves of change. That would be a very great mistake. Where you live and how you live, your occupation, where you are situated, your transportation, all of this will be very important. Here, it may well be necessary for families to become united with each other, to provide resources and assistance, networks of families, through civic organizations, through churches, and so forth. The sooner this preparation can begin, the better. Again, time is of the essence. There may be other people you will have to take care of as well. For many segments of the population, even in wealthy nations, will be extremely vulnerable. The elderly, the infirm, children without parents, or children with only one parent. If you are able, you must be in a position to assist them. Many people will have to step forward to give more than they are accustomed to giving. Their time and their energy will now be devoted to caring for others. This will be a requirement. Everyone will need to pitch in, or whole cities and communities could collapse into chaos and terrible violence. Starvation could occur even in the wealthiest places, as food distribution is disrupted. There will have to be much sharing and much cooperation. There will have to be much public service. There will have to be a great restraint of violence and self-destructive behavior. You will see as time progresses the tragedy of people being swept away, losing everything in the great waves of change. As economic instability grows, people will be losing their jobs, their careers, and their homes. It is already happening in so many places. You will see more social disorder, particularly in large and expanding cities, but also in rural areas as local economies begin to collapse. You will see these things, and if you are unprepared, they will be overwhelming to you, and there will be little you can do eventually to prepare for them. You will go through periods of great anxiety and great fearfulness, yet these are all emotional reactions. It is normal to have these kinds of reactions as long as they are not long lasting. It is part of the psychological adjustment to living in a declining world. The great threshold here is facing the great threshold for yourself, for your family, for your spouse or partner, for your community, and for all the other people whom you care about. If you try to tell everyone at once what you are seeing, you will be overwhelmed with discouragement. Instead, in quiet, before you proclaim anything beyond your family, you must build your inner strength. That is why the inner preparation is so vitally necessary. If you panic, you will do foolish things and make very unwise and even tragic decisions. That is why this time is so important, to see what others cannot see, to feel what others will not feel, and to do what others will not do. This gives you the greatest advantage and will require great strength from you. Ask yourself, what must I do now in order to prepare myself and my family? Already there are things you know you must do. Do the things you know you must do today, and tomorrow you will know other things that you must do. Do not act out of fear or panic, for this leads to bad judgment. The state of mind that you want to achieve is one of clarity, objectivity, and determination. The situation is terrible, horrible, or redemptive, depending on how you look at it, depending on which state of mind you are functioning from. From the greatest state of mind of knowledge, you recognize that the great waves were coming all along, that you have a role to play, and that you must become very strong now, very compassionate, and very forgiving. Your spirituality will be about caring for people, feeding people, serving people, and taking care of the world around you. That will be your gift to God. That will be your service in the world. The great waves of change will require this kind of selfless action increasingly. And for those who can cultivate this selfless approach to life, they will be in a position to lead others, to help others, to rescue others, and to empower others. This will require a different kind of strength from people, a core strength, the strength of knowledge. This will require greater integrity, greater wisdom, and greater cooperation, the real merits and the real abilities of the human family. In affluence, people are dissolute, but in adversity, people can do magnificent things.